Hey everybody, welcome back to the On Sun podcast. Today I am joined by a Calgary legend in her own right. I've spent hours just watching funny clips and just inspiring stuff and just an amazing person. And I saw that she was working on a book and I sent her a message on X and said, "Hey, let's chat." And she's like, "Okay." And here we are.
Here we are. Thanks for
Welcome to,
having me.
yeah, welcome to my little show here.
It's nice to chat with you. I followed your journey as well, Dave. Good for you. You just hit a
Oh,
big milestone birthday. That was a pretty significant um, step in your journey.
well, I appreciate that. I got my first question was about your book. Is it
Sure.
gonna be artichoke dip recipes by chance?
Yeah, it's a whole book of artichoke dip recipes because that's what people want to hear. That they don't want to taste it for sure because nobody needs to taste Vinegar Barn. It's a mystery. It's a thriller. And it's set in a newsroom. And our main character is a traffic anchor who gets herself into all kinds of shenanigans. So the way this came about was a longtime friend of mine, Deb Nicholson, is a published author. She's written some mystery books a few years back, and we run into each other now and then. And we ran into each other, a few months ago, and she reached out afterwards. She said, "I just have this idea in my head, and I can't get it out of my head." And this is what it's about. And I'm wondering if you want to collaborate. I'm like, okay, yeah, sure, for sure, for sure. And so we sat down, and this thing just took on a life of its own. And it has been the most fun project to work on. I never saw myself going down this road. I saw myself writing a book of some kind, and I will, a book of some kind about my various shenanigans that have happened over the past how many years in broadcasting, and throw in a little cancer and a little COVID and all of that. But this has been a really, really fun project, and we go back and forth with it. She's definitely the writer. She is like such a beautiful writer. I'm more like bashing off paragraphs and sending them to her, and then she sort of molds them into this perfection. But we love our main character, and we love the growth that she's shown in this first book, and this will be the first book of many. And Deb kept pushing me. She's like, "Okay, we need to start sending out agent publisher." And I wasn't sure that I wanted those words out there, and it wasn't until recently that it was like, you know what? Yeah, I really like this book, and I really like what we've done here. And let's just send it out. What's the worst? Someone's going to say no. I'm going to print out some copies in my computer and sell them in a lemonade stand in the summer. Whatever it takes. But I really like what we've come up with here. It's been a completely different experience, and I think as I come up to birthday number 61, it's all about getting out of your comfort zone. And the last few years have been getting out of your comfort zone. So what's the worst that can happen if you try? You fail. Okay. Oh, well, so what? Try something else. Try again. Try something different. The failures where the growth I think happens. So it's been really fun. We're just about to ship it out and see if there's any bites, and I'll keep everybody posted. But I'm already in my head planning the launch party,
No.
and there will be no artichoke dip
Oh,
yet.
there goes my next question.
Yet.
Now, is this something you could see if it turned into a movie? Who's the lead actor you're gonna want in that?
Oh my gosh, it would have to be somebody. Our lead character, she's a little bit younger than me. It have to be somebody who is spunky, and she's brave, and she is resilient, and she learns her life lessons. Sometimes it takes her a bit of a bonk on the head to do it. And somebody who's not afraid to just be out there. She's willing to save herself. She's not looking to be saved by anybody. She's willing to save herself, and she brings just a little bit of joy into the world. Sometimes people misinterpret that, and there are some things that happen with that, which have been mirrored in my own life. So somebody who's smart and spunky, and not afraid to put themselves out there. That's who. Let me think. I can't come up with a name, but that's who it would be.
Awesome. So for those of you who might know, I mean, I've got listeners in Singapore and Germany, and it's going crazy. So Leslie is a legendary, we'll say traffic reporter with Global News Calgary. She does community events,
Yep.
the Christmas elf thing. I'm gonna put all these links in the description so that people can just see that side of you because that's, there's days if I'm having a shitty day or if something's bugging me and I'm like, man, I'm just gonna go watch some global news bloopers because it always wipes it out. Whatever I'm pissed off about.
And that's what I hear from people. It's like, you know what? I just had to have a dash of peaches today. I had to just revisit peaches today and I had to go and see that. And what a gift that is for me to hear that me being authentically me can bring a little bit of something to somebody. When I get up every day, Dave, and I'm driving to work and it's the middle of the night, uh, I'm thinking, it is the honor of my life that I get to go and I get to impact somebody's life today, whether that is with information, education, entertainment, something that is off the wall, whatever that is. The privilege of being able to come into people's homes and maybe things started out rocky for them, and maybe something I say, or something I do, or something I misunderstand, or a dance move sets the tone of their day on a different path and they can go forth, or maybe they can pull up Artichoke, or maybe they want to have an empowered feeling day and they can pull up what I understand is termed the clap back. But that's a real honor for me to hear about that people use those. And I don't feel like people are laughing at me. I feel like they're laughing with me because I'm the first to laugh
Yeah.
at peaches. I'm the first to laugh at the horrendous artichoke dip that somehow fermented. I don't even know how that happened, and I still made people try it. I am the first to laugh at that, and I own what I've done, and I'm not embarrassed and I'm not humiliated about it because we are all just who we are. And I've been who I am on these TV screens for, I think I'm going on to 35 years now. So it's a little late for me to change and try to be something that I'm not, right?
Well, you know what? It's there's so much fake around this,
Yeah.
but it's so authentic. And then what I love the most is just watching whoever's on the desk, like their reactions, and they can just barely talk or they have to turn away from the camera. It reminds me of
Yeah.
like,
Blake, right? Blake and Peach's Sticky Fingers.
oh,
When Blake turns away, I watch Peach's Sticky Fingers for Blake's reaction because when he makes a turn and he can't even anymore,
yeah.
and it's like, oh, Blake. Oh, we got Blake. We got Blake. Dallas is such a perfect foil as well because she's so professional. She's so great at her job. And of course, now she's moved on to the 6 p.m. And is doing a fantastic job there. But if you can get Dallas and Blake to have a giggle, then I just think that's fantastic. How could you not giggle when you're watching people giggle,
Hmm.
right?
For me, it reminds me of I'm a big Chris Farley fan, Saturday Night
Yep.
Live, and I just watched his documentary last weekend, which I don't know how I missed, but seeing the way it's what it reminds me of, the way he could make this cast lose it like professionals. And then you got like I can't remember one day there was a guy that you'd think he was just starting, and it was his first morning with you, bald head, but he just lost it, and I was like, "Yep, boom, there's your
Boom.
initiation."
And there's your initiate. That's absolutely right. Sometimes I think when people come in, because I've worked with lots of teams in the morning, I've worked with lots of teams on the noon show, and lots of teams, throughout my career. Sometimes I wonder if they warn them as they're coming in. Okay, so you have to be ready for anything when you're working with Leslie because you just don't know what's coming your way. But if you're doing live TV, that's the thing. You're doing live TV, and I live for live TV. I love, love, love. I do 5 hours of live TV a day. It's not for everybody. Some people don't like it. They prefer a more scripted format. I just love when things go astray, or you get a curveball, or somebody says something. That's the beauty of live television for me. So I just love that we can just go with some of that. And sometimes you get an anchor that is maybe not used to that or whatever, and it's like, oh, you're just going to have to leave everything at the door and come in here with an open mind.
Yeah, for
Welcome to
sure.
the studio.
One of these days I might get the nerve. I can do these live on YouTube. I mean, I don't really edit them much. It's just real conversations with regular people, and I love it. I'm so hooked, and it's been so therapeutic for myself.
Well, don't you find though, like when you're having these conversations, is that it's I think the basis of civilization and society is connection, right? And I think that is what holds us. It's what keeps us, and it's what nurtures us. And when you are sitting and having this conversation with somebody, and this gives you an option of venue, that this you're maybe having conversations with people like that you would be going out for coffee with. Do you go out for coffee with Michael Landsberg? I don't think you do. None of us do, but you get to talk to him in this kind of format. And that's a real gift. Like, that's a real connection. And your listeners, your viewers also, you take them along in that connection. And I think that connection, successful connections, is what really makes us rise in our communities. And when we are lonely, or we feel isolated, or we feel sad, those feelings are intensified 10,000 if you're not connecting with people, right? So the connection with, be it one person, 10 people, or 1,000 people, is what sustains us.
So you do a lot with the Month of Giving initiative
Yeah,
and a lot of live charity stuff.
yeah.
The Peaches Stickyfingers that we mentioned, people have to watch that have no idea what I'm talking about. That will make you cry laughing. Um, what's your favorite behind the scenes moment from one of those?
Well, I love cookie sale. We came up with that a couple of years ago as a fundraiser for a fundraiser, and I love Morning of Giving because my idea for that was, if you give people somewhere to celebrate their giving, then they get twice as much out of it. So with Morning of Giving, for quite a few years, I've gone on the bus on delivery day on December 24th, and we go into the homes and we take those gifts that people have donated at our Morning of Giving, and we put them into the hands of families, and we put them into the hands of kids, and we put them into the hands of moms and dads who maybe wouldn't have something under the tree, and we bring them food hampers as well. And it is knowing that you can just slip into their home with the folks at the Magic of Christmas. You can sing a few songs, Santa gives out a few gifts, and for that day, for that minute, it doesn't matter that you don't have money for the water bill, or you're not sure where Christmas dinner is coming from, or you're not able to, you feel guilty because you're not able to give your kids the Christmas that they deserve. For that moment, you feel like we as a community have your back. And I have seen that look of gratitude on the faces of parents, and I've seen that look on the faces of kids. They may not be knowing what's going on, but what they do know is that there's a group of people standing in front of them that care about them.
Yeah.
And that comes back to connection, right? So we can leave a family with a little bit of Christmas joy, a little bit of holiday joy. We can leave them with things they can use going forward. Here's some gifts, and here's some gift cards. So now the parent can go and they can buy some things that they need in their house, and they don't have to worry about that. So if you can make somebody's life a little easier, whether it's just in that moment or it's that day or that month, that's important to me. And that's the same with the work I do around cancer, is connecting with those who are in the journey, starting the journey, coming out of the journey, part of the medical establishment that is looking to eradicate cancer. It's that our collective voice is stronger with that. And again, nobody needs to feel alone going through that. And that's, Dave, one of the reasons why I put out there that I was embarking on cancer treatment. Was it was a private thing, and I could have just disappeared. And I knew for a few weeks before I said anything, because I was waiting for a surgery date. When I got that surgery date, I knew I was going to put something out there into the world, because I don't like speculation and gossip, and so I try not to set myself up for that. But I knew that if I could put it out there, that there might have been somebody out there who's like, "Oh man, me too, me too." And so when I put that out there, and when I went through the journey, when I did check in with my colleagues, and then when I eventually came back, maybe somebody could see themselves in me, that I'm standing here and I've just been through this thing, and you know what, I'm standing here and I'm okay. And okay doesn't mean roses and sunshine and butterflies. And I think you know this.
Hmm.
Okay doesn't mean everything is perfect. Okay means, man, I'm still standing and I'm still looking forward. And if somebody can get a little piece of that from me and from my journey, then that was important to me. And that was one of the reasons why I put that whole journey out there, and continue to this day to talk about cancer, because it's not something that you walk away from. And It was when I got the results of my biopsies that was good news. That was okay. Your lymph nodes. They took 13 lymph nodes out of my abdomen. It came back. Your lymph nodes are negative. You're good. You're good. We're releasing you. And I crashed, Dave. My mental health just crashed because you're focused. You are getting through this journey. You have chosen your team. I had 5 close girlfriends, and that was it. That was the circle. It was that, and my family, and anybody else didn't get any details unless I wanted them to have the details. And it was when I walked out of that cancer center and of that appointment, and it was okay. You're good. I drove home, and I was crying, and I didn't stop crying for about a week. It was just everything, and we have a fantastic psychosocial oncology program here in Calgary. We're very lucky; it's world renowned. And I finally reached out to them. My doctor's like, I think it's time. I reached out to them, and they were like, well, of course, you don't know who you are, and you don't know what's going on, because you are Leslie before cancer, you're Leslie during cancer, and you're Leslie after cancer. And this is your chance right now after cancer to figure out what's important to you and to rebuild your life into what you want it to be. So I thought when I walked out of Tom Baker and they said, your biopsies are clear, I thought that was the end. And that was really just the beginning for me of an entirely different journey
Wow.
to do with cancer.
You know what? We're talking about the connection and how you love making people laugh. When I just posted an update on my Facebook saying, "Hey, I'm recording with Calgary legend Leslie Horton today," and I had about 15 messages from 15 different people say, "Oh, she used to train me here," or "Her daughter worked with my daughter," or "Can you say hi from Kevin?" All these people. And I'm like, "Sure." Why? But it just shows like the difference,
That's
the connection that
fantastic.
you have with people. Um,
And
and
that's
just
important to me. And it's not a surface connection to me. I have had conversations where somebody comes up to me and they're like, I watch you in the morning, and I am 100% focused on them. I am not just, oh, great, thanks, and moving on. I'm focused on them. What are you doing when you're watching? What's your story? What's your thing? What are you doing? We appreciate that you are part of our journey in the morning. And that is authentically me. And I think people can pick up on that. Plus, Dave, I have been in this market. I've been here longer than the Saddle Dome practically, right? I've been around a long time. I'm part of the furniture around here. So people are I think by this point pretty comfortable with me. And I think by this point they're pretty comfortable with what I bring to the table, which is not something that I don't I don't pretend to be who I am not. So I think they're comfortable with that. But each of those connections is really important and special to me. And I appreciate it when anybody says, oh, my friend or this or whatever, said hi, or they liked what you said, or something, whatever. That's important. And I think we even have a gymnastics connection, you and I, because my
yes.
daughter teaches gymnastics, and you've got a little family member that she coaches. So yeah, so the connections come from everywhere, and I'm grateful and I appreciate all of them.
You know what I did? I was looking through some stuff today and I thought when I first moved to Calgary, this is in 2007, I actually yelled at you on the TV because
Mm,
you had the greatest missed opportunity for a great dad joke. And I just had thought about email, but there was a mattress on the Deerfoot,
yep,
okay, that the camera was panning in on, and they were following this mattress up and down the Deerfoot, like 3 exits. It made it like the 32nd right down to 16th.
yep.
And I'm like, oh, come on, just please say this is enough. I've got to go recoil.
Oh, didn't even cross my mind. Not until you said it. Oh, that's a good one, though. That is a dad joke extraordinaire. Yeah, for sure.
So I
Next
remember
time
that.
I
I'm like,
see a mattress on Deerfoot, you can bet I'm gonna bring
oh,
that
there
one
you
out of my
go.
back pocket.
You can have full ownership, and I don't need a shout out. I don't need credit. Just I'll be watching. I'll watch for the clip, and I'll be like, yeah, there we go.
Yeah, yeah.
There's my retribution.
That's
You
awesome.
mentioned one thing with the charity work, and it brought back a memory to me when I was like 14 years old or something. I was grounded. I got in some trouble at school. Um, but my parents they were Salvation Army ministers, and every Christmas they volunteered with the Happy Tree, delivering toy hampers like the Toy Mountain now. So my punishment was I had to go help my dad on 2 weekends deliver toys. And man, I still think about it. Just like walking up to the doors and the moms and dads trying to be, keep things from quiet from the
Yeah.
kids. And then it was a punishment back then, but it's something now when I look at that it was the greatest punishment I ever got because it opened my
Yeah.
eyes.
Yeah. Yeah. Right. And I think um, we get pretty comfortable. We get pretty content within our own with our lives and our circles and everything. And I think that we all need to be reminded that there's struggles every day, every single day. There are struggles for some folks. Like how are they going to get to the end of the day? Whether it be mental health, whether it be financial, whether it be family chaos and strife, and discord and jobs and unemployment. There are struggles every single day, and none of us gets through unscathed. Uh, and we all share in the struggle, and sometimes somebody has it, it's a tough one today. It's a tough one for them, and I think we need to remember that that goes on as the same time as people are just going about their day, and maybe remembering that we all have an obligation to contribute to our communities. We all live here, and we are only as strong as a community as our weakest members. So what are we doing to help make sure that kids are getting to sports, and that dinner is on the table, and that homework is being done, and that there's reading going on to kids, and there's money to pay the rent and the phone bill. We all have a part in taking that. I don't have any money. I've been a single mom for a long time. I don't have any money to give, but I have my time and my platform to give. So that's how I choose to do it. And however you choose to do it, as long as you do it make an impact on someone, if it's in your community. I remember once we were coming home from gymnastics, and we stopped at McDonald's, and it was cold and it was winter, and Avery was maybe 8 or 10, and we went through the driveway, and I was driving away, and she said, hang on. And there was somebody who was unhoused that was sort of hanging out. She wanted them to have her burger because it was distressing to her that somebody was hanging out and asking people for food. And even at that sort of young, tender age, she recognized, and I hope, being that growing up, in the environment that she did, she recognized that there was something small that she could do, and she could do without that burger. But maybe that person that was standing there couldn't do without that burger. So I think we just all need to be aware
I
of
think
things like that in our community, because
isn't
there's
that
lots of it.
isn't that the greatest thing though when your kid does something like that?
Yeah.
I think my daughter, she's almost 11 now. When she was 8 years old, we were watching a Christmas story around news about this. I think it was on CTV, maybe Global Lethbridge. But it was a guy just took his guitar and went in and played music to seniors at Christmas.
Yeah.
And my kid just looks at me and she's like, Dad, I wonder if they get Christmas cards.
Ah,
I'm like, well, I'm sure they get a few. So she went, I called up the lodge here the next day. I'm like, how many residents do you got there? My daughter wants to make some homemade cards. And there was 47 there, not a big lot. But so we made one really nice homemade card and then we photocopied it and put a little personal note on each one. But she made sure that every senior in that place got a Christmas card, and it was a little misty. Like it just,
yes.
and this was our third year doing it. This year we did 75. The year before was like another 20. And then people that just lived in the town that were seniors that had no one, they were messaging me like, hey, can she drop one off here? I'm like, of course. So,
Oh, see, so that's what happens. It's that cyclical effect, is that people hear about it, and then it grows, and it sort of grows organically, and it becomes that your daughter at her age is understanding and learning about the impact of a pretty small gesture on her behalf. Who doesn't want to have some glitter and some crafts as she makes her beautiful cards? But she's learning that the impact that that has at the other end, so she'll be aware of that throughout her life. That's fantastic. Good for her. You must
yeah.
be proud.
Oh, she makes me so proud every day.
Yeah.
She's my uh she's my noise canceling headphones when I get trolls.
Yeah. Oh, we all get trolls.
Oh, I know. That's where I'm going here.
Figured you were.
This video. you posted, I'm not gonna lie. I mean, I'm a pretty emotional guy, but this one, it made me ugly cry because I could feel it because I had posted a picture of me and my daughter online when I was almost 400 pounds. And then one again after I lost 150 pounds of us at the gym together. And Arnold Schwarzenegger reposted on Twitter.
Yeah.
So it had like 9.1 million views. And I'd gotten a few trolls here and there, but there was one person that he took this picture and made fake Facebook accounts and fake Instagram accounts of
Yeah.
me and used it to trash my kid.
Yeah.
So when I watched that video of you, which with the guy talking about how you looked in the bus driver pants your reaction just made me like I cursed. I was like, hell yeah, but with an F word. I was like, I never did know you, I'd never spoken with you, but I was so damn proud because it was like, oh,
And those, and people have asked me, well, you must have prepared that statement. Let me tell you how this all went down. Is we're in the show, and there is a man, and I haven't released his name, and I don't plan to release his name, and I never planned to release his name. It's not about piling on him, because there's certainly lots of people like this out there. He had been sending me, mean emails for years. He uses his own name, and the subject line is always Leslie Horton. So I know when I see his name, and I know there's going to be some kind of bullet coming from him, to say he finds me very irritating in many 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 other words. So we're in the show one day, and I get it from him, and I see it, and I just know it's not going to be good. But I had a second, so I opened it, and I read those words, and it was it, I don't. It's not that it was that different than any of his previous emails. And I don't know if it was the word uterus. I don't know what it was, but I just closed it up, and I had a minute of anger. And we are taught in our business to delete, forget, move on, delete, forget, move on, because these things often happen. And if you're a polarizing personality like I am, you get more than your fair share of this. So it's not that I don't have a thick skin. And I just thought, okay, I'm walking away. I'm walking away. My colleague said, just, walk away. Just go do your traffic hit. And I was standing, and my colleague finished her weather, and it's time to throw to me. And I had zero plan in my head of doing anything. And these words just came out. I don't know where they came from. It was 22 seconds of words from my soul. And I didn't plan it. I didn't know I was going to do it. And that I said them. And then I went into my traffic report, and I walked back to my desk, and I said, well, if I get fired, that's the right hill to die on. And my phone started pinging, and my email started pinging, and I'm like, oh, and all these messages coming in, just saying, did you just say that? Apparently I did. Yeah, apparently I did. And then I thought I better listen back to what I said, because I again had no plan, no nothing. They're just words. And I listened back to what I said, and I thought, okay, well, at least it was complete sentences. It was coherent thoughts, and I didn't swear. All good. And it became apparent quite quickly that those words had quite an impact. And then there was a whole, fallout situation from that. And I still hear from people. I today this morning got an email from a young woman in the States, and she said, I know I'm late to the party, but I just saw the clip of what you said to the man commenting on your physical appearance, and I just want you to know that it really impacted me, and empowered me. And as a young woman in the United States, I will go forward with that empowering me from this day on. And I
wow.
thought, wow. I had somebody say to me, and this one, Dave, was really impactful. I got thousands and thousands of messages. I couldn't return them all, but someone reached out and said, I didn't know that you could set a boundary without anger and violence. And you showed me that you could.
Mhm.
And no one has ever shown that to me before. So thank you for being someone that I can emulate, and someone that I can remember as I respond to various situations in my life. And that was really an impactful message to me. So that it went around the world. Jamie Lee Curtis. I did Good Morning America. I did Australian TV. I did the Washington Post. I did all that, and I continued to get a few other messages from that man that
Wow.
I eventually had to turn over to an outside organization because the tone of them started to change completely. That's all I need to say about that,
Wow.
about him.
Steve.
And you have a daughter. Do you want your daughter to be at the receiving end of somebody criticizing her appearance? Do you think don't look in the mirror? Do you think I don't know how I look?
Mhm.
I know how I look. That's up to me. That's not up to you. And to use how I look to try to embarrass me and humiliate me. Congratulations on your pregnancy. Well, I know you've been sending me notes for more than a few years. Pretty sure you knew about the whole cancer thing. I talked about that it was a uterus cancer, and I'm 60. So don't try to hurt me by being petty and mean because I won't stand for it.
Yeah. So, well, you've got this one guy. I mean, this video I was doing some looking around last night. One of them was at like 9.8 million views. So you've got this one troll and all these other comments from moms and women and just regular people. They should all just be noise canceling headphones for that guy. And I can tell it doesn't bug you, but it's that's your noise
Well, I
canceling.
know what I look like. This is like what I look like is not a surprise to me. Like if I was if my image of myself was 5'4", 101 pounds and being a size 4, then that would have shocked me. I see myself in the mirror every day. I work out, I eat. I'm not obsessed with being like I'm okay with who I am. I'm okay with who I am. So if and here's the thing, someone came at my daughter once over social media a couple of years ago. She's probably about 16, and just came at her for an hour, and it was somebody she knew, and she just took it, processed it. Then the next day came to me and said, this is what happened, and this is what I'm going to do. And here's a line that she said to me: I can take that because I'm okay with who I am.
Mm,
But what if he was doing that to someone who wasn't okay?
yeah,
That's a danger zone.
it is.
So I can take that. It's in, but because I'm okay, because I don't care what you think of me. But here's my line, because you may not just to me, but to other people.
That's unreal. I think when my daughter was in preschool, they did the class photos. And so she had this birthmark right in the middle of her forehead for like the first 7 years of her life. It's pretty much gone now. But when we got the photos back from the image company, they had photoshopped it out.
Um,
So my daughter sees the print of it. And she's like, "Where's my cutie mark?" 'Cause that's what you used to call her, right? Where's my cutie mark? So I emailed them right. I'm like, "Can you take that off? Like, it's a birthmark." I mean, it was harmless. The lady thought it was an injury or something.
yeah,
And she's like, "Oh, please, please don't go to the media about this." I'm like, "I'm not that kind of person. Like, it was an honest mistake. I'm not going to try and destroy someone's business
yeah,
because you photoshopped the mark off my daughter's head."
yeah,
But, she was well because we used to have a chat about it. People might ask you about it. People might look at you. If it doesn't
yeah,
go away, it's part of you. And she was okay with that.
yeah.
But it was just so weird how this lady she was so worried about, "Oh, please don't post this on social media. I'll be ruined." I'm like,
Well, and to be clear, I don't even think to this day I posted it on social media. It got picked up. Somebody in Calgary was recording or set, went back into their PVR, sent it out, and it just took legs uh, of their own. But we are all afraid. We are all afraid of that. We're afraid of two things in there, Dave. We're all afraid of something that's a little bit different or a little bit not what inside the box, and we're all afraid of then being canceled for doing something. And that's where we are as a society. And some people came at me with, well, you were actually harassing him by saying that.
wow.
And it's like, shake your head. Shake your head. This isn't about cancel culture. This isn't You're not going to hear his name from me. This isn't about him. This is about people do this. I have stacks. Hey, fat old lady, frumpy grandma, what are you still doing on my TV? You spinny swear abroad. And it's like, oh, newsflash, you don't get to tell me when it's time. I have wrinkles. I'm 60. I have gray hair. You know what? There's other women in the community that look just like me. And as media, we're reflecting what's going on in the community. If you want your life packaged into sound bites by perfection, you're not living in the real life. We need to give each other a little grace. We need to not stick our noses in where we belong. We need to not lash out. Lashing out. I had responded to this man who sent me that email. I responded to him once, and it was about 4 years ago. And when he had sent me a message, and I said, do you feel better now that you've lashed out at me? And he answered, yes.
Wow.
And I thought, okay, now I know exactly who I'm dealing with.
You know, I used to get a lot of bad anxiety, whenever a news article would go online, or when I spoke with Joe Croteau about my daughter and the weight loss. And the trolls used to give me such bad anxiety, I'd lose sleep for days. And
Mm,
now they don't phase me one bit. I had a military friend of mine say, Dave, do these people pay you money? Like, do they pay you rent money? I'm like, what do you mean they pay me rent money? Like, you're letting them live in your head
yep.
rent free.
Yep.
Knock it off. And it was just a little shake I needed.
Yep.
I mean, now here I am with a podcast, 17 episodes in. I would have been terrified to do this a year ago, but now I don't care anymore. And the people I'm hearing from people like all over like North America and Russia, Germany, just people that were me 10 years ago when they thought
Yeah.
no one on this planet aside from his family gave a shit about them.
Yep.
But just telling these stories and just talking to you, just shooting the shit, Michael Landsberg, um, it's so rewarding. And
And you can't let things hold you back,
no,
right? I think you can't let things and our experiences form who we are and where we are and what we've done. And I'll tell you, Dave, on February 1st, 2022, as I was being wheeled towards the surgical suite at Foothills Hospital for cancer surgery, I had my most scariest moment ever of my life. And I was being wheeled towards surgery, and it was 5 o'clock in the morning, and I just looked death in the face. It was right there. You are going for cancer surgery. It
no,
was right there. And I just felt it. I was so scared. And I felt the fear in every fiber of my being. And almost instantaneously, that fear just felt love bombs coming at me from every single angle. And when you have been in that place of fear and being scared, and you have been in that place of feeling the love from your family and your friends and your community, and it was just love bombs that were just coming in, out of the air and holding me up in that minute when I couldn't hold myself up because of the fear. You want to send me an email telling me I look pregnant? Have at it. Have at it, buddy.
wow. Well, I really admire that, and yeah, that I've watched that clip, and whenever I get, if I still get trolled, I've got you saved in my favorites up there. It's on YouTube, but I'll put all these in the description for anyone that has any idea. One question I've always had: how much worse have Calgary drivers gotten? Like when you say it's 11 o'clock at
Don't
night,
even.
it, it's
Don't even. You know what I think it comes down to? I think it comes back to where we are as a society. And in the last, 4 or 5 years, that changed. We all think we're the best driver in Calgary. Okay, we're not. Let me tell you that. But yeah, the impatience and the unwillingness to let someone have an inch on you right? And we see it. I see it every single day. Someone's trying to merge and someone's not letting them. And it's like, okay, we're getting awfully close to a collision here, guys. And you're live on TV while you're doing it. And then you get a last second merge, or you come across a crash and all of a sudden your lane is shut down. You're not even thinking about it. You're just over into that lane. Never mind the guy that's coming. It is something. Now I grew up in Vancouver. So I know Vancouver drivers are a different breed as well, but you throw in some -20 and some ice and some snow and some big SUVs or big trucks with the big tires. It's like four-wheel drive isn't saving you today. It ain't saving you today. Like we all got to be in the mode, and on the roads is a place where we definitely all have to work together to get where we need to go. And I see it every single day. Most people are just out minding their own business and doing their own thing, and then somebody comes along and it feels they have more rights than someone else, right? But that's where we are as a society right now, anyhow.
So that's like 11 o'clock at night, say before the next day, and you see the weather warning for like 5 to 10 centimeters for that first snowfall of the year. What kind of oh shit moment is that for you? Is it?
Well, it is never that. It is okay. Put your seatbelt on.
Yeah.
Because like when you're all about live TV, it's all about is what is happening in that moment, and I am prepared for whatever is happening in that moment, as prepared as you can be. Like you're watching stuff unfolding, you're just reacting to it. But when it starts to the crashes start coming in, it's like we got this, that, and then we got the helicopter. Can you go here? And we're working together and trying to figure out and working it out with weather, and we're triple teaming it. Now we got the cruiser cam out, was a photographer out on the road, and we got that. And after a day like that, it's like, you know what? We got the people some good information today. That's a win. That's a win.
Did you this is a really random question, but did you watch the that Will Ferrell movie about the weather? The
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah.
Weatherman? Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah, yeah, yeah,
So
yeah.
if they make a movie, not your book, but they make a movie about your life, your career, and you could have anyone play you, whether it's male or female, whether they want to change the story around, which funny actor are you picking?
Oh, I love Anne Hathaway. She's awesome. She's there's lots of facets to her. She's funny, but she's also like a bit of a broad, like a bit of a bring it on kind of girl. Um, I love Jennifer Lawrence too. I think she's amazing. They're all quite a bit younger than me, though. Where maybe I should be talking more about Helen Mirren, that age of actress. Whoever, whatever, who cares? Who cares? That'd be so fun though, wouldn't it? To see somebody playing your life or playing the character in your book. Be like, oh man.
It
But
would.
I'd be like, no, 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 that's not how I'd say it. And the actor and the director would be, but that's how she's gonna say it. Let's just calm down.
I'm thinking if they ever made a movie with me, there's an actor, his name is Ethan Slurpee, and he used to be like 400 pounds.
Oh,
And everyone used to say I looked a lot like him when I was bigger. And now he's lost 200 pounds. He's in a little better shape than me, too. He works out a lot more than I do, but it's kind of cool. I want to get him on here, because we've been through the same path.
yeah,
We kind of look alike. It'd be kind of cool to interview my doppelganger,
yeah, for sure.
right? So we'll see what happens there. But
Just shoot him a note. Say, man, we're living parallel paths. You're a little further along than me. I'd like to get your thoughts on how you went from A to B, and talk about bash out what's next for you, and what is next for you, Dave.
just this, talking, just telling people stories from every corner of the world. I've had um, a retired sheriff that's walking across Canada for the second time for PTSD. I've interviewed the paramedic that saved my life in 1994, which was that one hit me hard. I had to take a walk after that. It took me 29 years to find her, and now we're best friends.
Nice.
Yeah, I've just had regular people on there. I had a world champion powerlifting that's defeated cancer twice, who just keeps training over 10 years in the midst of two cancer. Like this guy is a pure warrior. And I just love it. Just the people are starting to reach out to me now, which is making it a lot easier. And then, I mean, I saw your post like, what's next for my book? And I'm like, well, you just popped up. Here I am. We've never talked, but here we are.
No, no, I'm glad you reached out. It's been a nice chat. It's been I know I could like talk for 17 hours, so I have to shut up at some point. It's been a nice chat with you though.
It really has.
It's been nice to share some time with you.
I do have one last question for you. I ask every guest at the end of the show. Um, I've done some pretty heavy episodes and talked about some heavy stuff, so this is kind of my little icebreaker at the end. Okay, so a 100 meter dash or walk. How many live pigeons do you think you could carry and have in your hand at the end of the race?
Oh, well, I'm not touching a pigeon. No, 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 I'm not touching a pigeon. And if it's a carrier pigeon and it's bringing me a truffle, it can drop it from 7 feet above. I am not picking up the pigeon. Those are like cobra chickens. Pigeons and what are those? Canada geese. No way. They freak me out. Peck, 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 peck. Nope, not carrying them.
All right, well, we'll put you at zero. You're my first
Zero.
zero, so that's a good answer. Yeah, I'm gonna put all these links to these videos. I think there's about five of my favorites. I'll put them all in the description for those that don't know you, but it's been an honor talking to you. Followed you since I moved here in 2007, and just that day when you stood up to that guy, I was so damn proud of you, and it changed me a little bit because you know what? I need to start standing up to people like that too, just in my mind, just
Yeah.
block and delete. But
Yeah. And it's in your mind. And that's a good analogy. Are they paying you rent? No.
yeah,
There's enough going on in here. We don't need more. And we sure don't need the negativity swirling that we so often allow it, right?
for sure.
Yeah. So to clear it out, move ahead.
Beautiful. All right, thanks for talking to me, and don't forget to check all the links if you're listening, so you can watch some amazing moments that'll make you laugh so hard you'll feel like you did a sit up. I guarantee
I do one for me. Thanks, Dave.
it. Thank you.